Hi, this is Mike Martin with Casio. Welcome back to my office. Today we're going to discuss the step sequencers on the XW series. And for these examples, I'm going to be using the sequencer on the XW-G1. Now for those of you that have an XW-P1, don't worry. The step sequencer is one aspect where these two machines are identical. Just some of the sounds will be different. So here we go. So for the purpose of this tutorial, let's make sure we're all starting in the same place. Press the step sequencer button. Then scroll to a blank user step sequence. A blank one will have the name untitled. Next, we need to make sure we're all starting on the same part. There are 9 different parts or tracks in the XW series. Currently on the screen you can see that mine is set to PT drum 3. That means track 3. So just using the part plus and minus buttons you can switch between tracks. As a shortcut, pressing both plus and minus at the same time will take you back to track 1. Now that we've selected the same blank sequence and the same drum part, we're ready to start making some music. So press the start-stop button to get things going. So now you'll see a series of flashing blue lights on the 16 buttons above the sliders on the left. Each of these switches correspond to the 16 steps on this part. By default, the part will be set to 16th notes. So by pressing buttons 1, 5, 9, and 13, we'll get a kick drum on every quarter note. So the first question that usually comes up at this point is, how do I change the drum sound? So there's 2 different ways. First, make sure that the button to the left labeled step sequencer is lit up. That determines the function of the sliders. Second, make sure that none of the switches to the left of the sliders are lit up. Then using the master slider, you can change the note on all 16 switches at once. So I can switch between the 2 different note numbers that have kick drums in this particular drum kit. But you may want an entirely different drum kit altogether. To do that, press the mixer button. Now on the screen we'll see that we are on MIDI channel 8, the one that's flashing on the mixer display. And we're using standard set 1. So just use the cursor keys and select a different drum kit. Once I'm happy with my selection, I can either press the exit button or the mixer button again. So without even stopping the sequencer, I can select my next part, add my snare, go to the mixer, and choose a different drum kit. So I went ahead and added hi-hat on my third drum part and chose a hi-hat sound. Now I'm going to show you some of the advanced features of the step sequencer by pressing the edit button. And now I'm going to go to the track parameters page where I can change some settings for this hi-hat part. Here we can see the number of steps in the hi-hat part can be anywhere from 1 to 16 steps. I can also change the note value from quarter notes, triplets, all the way up to 30-second notes. Note length will determine how staccato or legato my track is. If we scroll down further, we'll see groove. I can even add some swing to this hi-hat part. When I'm comfortable with my settings, just press the exit button. So this concludes our first video on step sequencing with the XW series. In the next video, we're going to add more tracks, including bass and chordal parts, as well as show you how to use the sliders for other things and integrate the solo synth. So stay tuned.